Wow.
outside of like Mario.
Wait, so when did you
like,
play? Did you play Persona 5 in 2018? You must have.
I did.
Yeah.
I finished. I actually checked this. I finished Xenoblade 2 in June or July of. Actually, it'd be July. In July of 2018, and I finished Persona in October.
Dang. Wow.
They were together.
Yeah.
So to speak.
No, cool.
You know? So I got them both at around the same time. Because I think I got Xenoblade for like Christmas and then Persona for my birthday.
Yeah.
So like.
No, I've told you this already, but trying to get a hold of a physical copy of Xenoblade 2 is rest in peace.
But yeah, dude, like genuinely when I think about it, like I think of my brain and my journey, to put it in a very pretentious manner, of me being interested in games like design and stuff, and criticism and all that, of like there's the 3 stages. There's like, I'm kind of interested in this and I'm first thinking about it, and then there was the contrarian, you know, big word, everything sucks phase.
Yep, I had that phase.
And then eventually you come out the other end and you're like, man, it's like good to talk about things I like.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
And just enjoy things and then look at it, you know?
But that's definitely where I'm at, where it's like,
Genuinely, like, I think Xenoblade 2 was the one of the things I got the biggest hit from that, like, critical phase.
Oh, yeah. See, that was me with probably, like, Breath of the Wild, to be honest. But I feel you.
It does have issues.
Yeah.
But, like, going back and playing through it, like, again now, and now that I, like, know how to play it and all that, it's like, oh my god, dude, I thought I hated this game.
Yeah. No, I feel you.
I'm like, wow, this game's actually really dope. I really do like this game. But it does have issues. The dub at worst is unacceptable, and at best it's unfortunate. It's the kind of thing where it's like, okay, it's kind of like the end of Tech Week when we were in drama, where it's like the people that are doing good are doing good, like they're doing what they do, you know. It's just that the people who aren't caught up yet are dragging it down.
Yeah, yeah.
And there are a lot of just kind of...
Isn't Xenoblade 2 longer than the first game as well?
They're around the same length. Maybe it has more cutscenes, I guess. I think it has more cutscenes in terms of length, but...
Gotcha.
But it's like, I can swear, I full-on believe that at one point someone peeks their mic.
Oh, no. Okay, speaking of that...
It's like, what?
I'm sure we'll talk about it eventually, but, so I didn't know this, but I guess it makes sense, but, sorry, my PSP works. But the entirety of the English dub for Strikers was done from each voice actor's home. Like, they had the ship equipment and... yeah, I didn't know that, but...
like, there are some issues with audio mixing.
Yeah, dude. And Ryuji will just randomly, he'll be like this, and you can barely hear him. And it's like, what? Hello?
It's like, Ryuji, no, I want to hear you. You're doing the best in the cast.
Dude, oh, I love them all.
From the little bit that I've played, like, I'm at...
Yeah, all right, here we go.
Like the third. Have we been recording at this point?
Yeah, I can intro before we talk Persona, if you want.
I don't know. We have a lot to do.
Yeah. All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the show. We're gonna talk about Persona, Smash, and maybe some other fun things. But yeah.
Did my Xenoblade 2 rant get in there?
A little bit.
Okay.
3 minutes worth.
I like the game. And
I'm impressed with the first game, and I liked what I played of X. So.
It's like, but though in Persona 5 Strikers, I'm at the point. I'm just starting to progress towards like the third core of the first.
Okay. Yeah.
Jail. You know.
Yeah.
So just now it's like, oh, you know, we tighten up the Ferris wheel or whatever or something.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
But I don't know, man. I think Ryuji has the best performance so far.
I feel like because
he's killing it when you can hear him.
No, I always felt like he had a good, just decent overall in the base game, but I don't know. Like with this one, I'm definitely noticing that a lot more effort has gone into it. I'm wondering if that was just he'd had more time with the character. They'd done new lines for Royal, you know.
I think it's because like the comedy is a lot more prevalent, but also more like Ryuji's being loud and like, what?
Yeah. What? I will say, like,
I have a real counter going on.
Dude, me too. Oh my god, me too.
Oh my god! Don't tell me what you got.
Okay, all right. I won't say anything. I'm at the very end of the third jail, so I'm definitely farther than you. But
totally.
I have a few gripes with it, but a lot of praise mostly so far.
We can talk about it more once.
Once you're further.
And you eventually finish.
Yeah, I will say this: that Futaba, I'm kind of sick of, personally. I don't know.
Ooh.
I don't really like her that much. I appreciate like what they were trying to do with her, but in this game, she's literally like, gamers. Oh no! Oh my god! A cheat code! Oh my god! Honor your boobs CGI! Oh my god! Like it's like, oh, shut up. So yeah, but I don't know. It's great to see everyone. I don't know why Makoto suddenly forgot that we're in love, but whatever. It's all good. It's all good. And I love Sophia. She deserves all the protection in the world.
Bro, I've never seen a glow down in a performance of a voice actor like Matthew Mercer as Yusuke.
Yeah. I don't know.
Like,
he actually has some pretty good stuff later on. There's a line he says...
I'm assuming he eventually gets back into it more, but at least at the beginning, it's like, you are not Yusuke right now.
I don't know. A lot of them have weird lines, like, especially early on. I think it's trying to do the balance of, hey, if you've never played the Persona 5 games before, this is what we're... they try to do the baseline, and that's why Sophia's in the game. She's there for the dum-dums that haven't played any of the games. Which makes sense, and it actually works well because it is kind of a nice refresh. But I don't know, there are moments where you're like, I don't know, but I don't want to spoil much, but the way the story is like progressing and how it's tying to the main characters is super interesting to me, and it's reflecting the first game a lot, and I don't know how to feel about it. But in the first jail gets a lot of like good fleshing out, Yusuke, so on and so forth, and I'm doing stuff with Haru that's like, oh, screen time.
Haru gets character development.
Yeah, so it's interesting, and I'm curious what you'll think about what they do. But I don't know. It's great so far, and the gameplay too. I'm not in love with it like I was expecting, but it's still really like way better than Hyrule Warriors.
I mean, so far the only because I've only played for a few hours,
Yeah.
Like the only thing so far that I'm like, okay, you need to change this is like, okay, I shouldn't have to go into a side menu, into a separate tutorial menu, and scroll down to the bottom to find individual like text boxes for like movesets and stuff.
Oh yeah, I haven't even looked at movesets.
This game takes so much from like, a lot of character action and stuff like that. And one thing that most, if not all of them have, is a very straight up like, oh, this is your move list.
Yeah, I guess I kind of figured it out.
You already have kind of one. Like, you already have one where it's like the master skills or whatever.
Yeah.
Where like, there's the
it tells you them
or whatever you earn. It's like, okay, we have this screen set up. Just give us a short little diagram where it's like, here's the square ones, and then it juts off for each triangle thing you can do.
Yeah, it is. I mean, each one's different too. Like, so far, my favorites to play as have been surprisingly Haru. Like, I love playing as Haru. She's great. Haru, Joker, obviously, because he's the wild card. And Yusuke's okay. He's interesting.
Dude, when Yusuke did Judgment Cut, I almost fell out of my chair.
Yeah, and Makoto's okay too. I don't know. Like, I've actually found Haru to be like my favorite to play as, honestly, which is weird. Sophia, I'm trying to get used to her, but
I like Sophia's gimmick a lot.
Yeah,
I think that's because typically a lot of these games are very like, oh, you just kind of push the buttons and it goes.
Yeah, no, yeah, the yo-yo thing.
Just simply putting a thing where it's like, hey, you get rewarded for timing it.
I will say,
it's always a good way to like raise the skill ceiling.
Yeah, true, and it's fun to do. I will say, like, I don't remember in the base game, like, I feel like everyone has a healing spell. Like, everyone except for Ryuji. everyone besides Ryuji and Yusuke has a healing spell, which is weird to me.
I don't think Haru.
No, Haru doesn't either. You're right, but I don't know. I don't remember I do remember On having stuff, but it's like
On has Dia, Morgana's the healer, and then
Makoto does have some stuff. Yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, I don't know. It's really neat so far. Although there
Through
are
the mages.
there are a memento or like a memento style request system that'll be coming up for you later. And oh man, it's a little rocky. Like in order to like accept requests, complete them, and then start a new one, you have to completely leave the area, like completely, to start a new one. And it's like, oh, that like I get for doing that in the base game, I get that, but in this game where it's very like fast paced and fluid, it's like why can't I just do the next request while I'm here? So, but I'm trying to not spoil, so that's all I got.
I appreciate it. So
and there are some characters that have not are not in the game, and it's sad, but oh well, we'll see.
Well, I mean, I already know, like, oh no, Doctor ain't here.
Yeah.
Ooh.
No, I know.
EY's dead.
His black market career is over.
He has died.
Yeah.
It's finally caught up to him. Oh no.
And I'm trying to. You haven't really interacted with Zenkichi much, so you don't have much to say. But I'm sure we'll have a lot more as we go on.
Nothing to me.
Yeah, no, you'll see. You'll see. All right.
Yeah, I'm excited to keep going.
It's great. A lot of the new music's really good. The remixes are good. Yeah.
One of the new battle themes is like, okay, this is top tier.
Yeah.
Genuinely might be the best.
Did you pay $10 to be able to listen to Mass Destruction? Yeah, I haven't either.
No.
And Royal, I got that shit for free, but oh well.
Royal.
I need to finish Royal. Oh god.
Let me think. So yeah, today is Pyra and Mithra.
I think the patch is gonna drop while we're talking. I think
probably, but then the servers will go down.
Yeah, I liked how they did Sephiroth because I didn't have to care about the patch because I already had the character.
Bro, Sephiroth's like, this is going to be hard, and I'm like, okay. Then,
I don't know. It wasn't too hard for me personally.
Smash CPUs. I mean, like, you know, like that's how I played it literally.
Yeah.
For all the time until like 2 years ago.
No, yeah.
So you kind of get acclimated to level 9 CPUs.
Yeah, you're right. You are so right.
But anyway, they look dope.
They do actually. They look a lot cooler than I was expecting. I think they're going to be pretty good.
I've also gotten a lot more positive on their inclusion in general.
Yeah, no, that's good.
Because I went back and played it. And
yeah,
the crust, the salt, the toxicity washed away, and I'm like, oh,
this is kind of
love this game.
Yeah,
I mean, it has big problems.
Dude, you have like 90 hours in it, so you better it.
I mean, to be fair, it's like, yeah, it's a JRPG, all right. But
I tend to like those nowadays. I don't know if you've heard.
Cast a lot. The music is god tier, dude.
Yes, I don't know anything about I do know stuff about the game, but like the music, like when when Ultimate came out and you had like a few Xenoblade 2 songs in the game and there was no More Ardain, I was like, uh-oh.
More Ardain. Bro, we got Tantal in the freaking
so many good songs.
Which is like, ooh.
There are no Xenoblade X songs though, sadly. I was hoping.
Bro, no Black Tar.
I was hoping. Really was. Because there's a great video. I'm sure it's still up there, archived. But it's Etika reacting to the Xenoblade Chronicles X like soundtrack. It is the best. Like, it is so good. He just like, yes, that's all I gotta say.
Bro, part of me relearning that I actually really like Xenoblade 2 was watching some of Etika's reactions. Oh yeah, parts of it.
I don't think he made it too. I mean, he never made it very far. Oh, he did. Oh my god, that must be one of the only games he finished on stream. He never finished Awakening or Echoes or Fates or Persona 5.
A character gets friend zoned harder than I've ever seen anything else be friend zoned in any work of fiction.
Oh my god,
it's brutal.
Damn,
it's so funny. And it took like a 5-minute break.
Dang, that's awesome. I remember
the tutorials suck. The battles are great. I like the characters a lot. I remember being salty at the ending.
Oh, I've heard the ending's kind of weird. I don't know anything, but
yeah.
I've heard it's weird.
It's one of those things where you're like, I thought it should have gone the other way.
Oh, it's a Pixar's Soul situation. Gotcha.
You know, there's typically that type of binary, certain choices where it's like, you can either go this way with it or that way. And I'm like, I think it should have gone the other way.
Gotcha.
At least back in the day. I'm mixed on it, but I at least now appreciate that certain themes and character arcs wouldn't make sense if it went the other way.
Right.
You know?
Right. How far are you on your new playthrough?
I'm like halfway through chapter 7 out of 10.
Dude, holy crap.
I mean, my time is like so much lower this time.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Because I understand how to play it. Because, dude, back in the day, since I didn't know how to play it, I'd like, the boss fights used to be terrible, dude. Oh my god. I used to be stuck on them for hours and hours until I have to go grind.
It's just like the old days, man. As a kid.
It's, oh, Jesus Christ.
When you're playing a game and it's like, oh.
I'm like, this is a breeze.
Yeah. No, I mean, I had that with Persona 5 Royal, where I'm like, why did I ever have issues? Like, what? I had to finish that game on easy because I had so many problems. But now that I know what I'm doing, it's like, oh, man, yes. Which kind of sucks, because then it makes playing a JRPG for the first time kind of dumb. Like, Final Fantasy VIII, the second time through, way better than the first. Let me tell you. I love that game now.
You compound that frustration with an ending that at the time I wasn't satisfied with. Of course I thought I didn't like the game for years. Like,
so with the way that the game ends, without spoiling it, and the trailer for the characters in Smash, did that?
Oh, they're not related.
They're not related? Oh, okay. Because that's what I was wondering. Like,
ultimately, from how the trailer looks in Smash, it's taking place like mid-game.
Okay, all right.
Like, I would say honestly, pre-chapter 7.
Gotcha. All right. Well,
so, like, you know, you have your... Oh, I need to... So, you know how Xenoblade 2 works off a gacha system, right?
Yeah.
In it?
Yeah.
So, I don't know if this has been entered into the lore yet, but I'm kind of lucky at times.
Yes, you are. Yeah, you are.
In the game, the rarest blade
Cosmos
is Cosmos, and she has like a 0.1% pull rate.
God.
At base rate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How many blades are in the game?
I don't know the exact number. It's a decent amount. Like, honestly, for doing a gacha system, like
a free one
can
too.
Get, I think half or more you can find through like side quests or like plot, you know, all that. So it's not too much. But I somehow,
no,
I got the last party member.
Don't tell me.
Don't tell me. And I was like, okay, I want to get this guy a rare blade.
Oh
so
no!
I pulled 4 commons, and then I pulled Cosmos.
Oh, did you have any idea what you got? Like, were you like at the time? Did you know?
I mean, I knew Cosmos was the most rare, so yes.
Okay.
But it was like, I was just like, you're kidding me, right?
Yeah.
Just one me.
That's impressive. That's kind of
lucky.
That's cool. I mean, obviously, I'm making my way through the first game, and I've played some of X. I don't know if I might revisit X, but I do really want to play the second game, because that was like early Switch, like, you know, where people were still in that honeymoon phase and were just like in love with the Switch. I kind of want to like revisit that.
If the 4th round of Switch Pro rumors are true, maybe you'll be able to play.
Hey, exactly. That's the one thing I know about that game, is it does not run well. Its resolution is really weird and a lot of issues. So
yes,
which kind of, I will say, like, Definitive Edition definitely runs better than 2.
Totally.
Still doesn't look great. It's 720p, but hey, you know, we chilling.
Yeah, we're good with it.
So during the presentation, I actually thought that when, spoiler alert for Xenoblade Chronicles 2, when he was showing off all the spirits and he was showing Numa, I thought that was going to be Cosmos. Because like it was kind of similar colors, and I was like, oh, he's blurring it out.
At first I was like, good on you, Sakurai, for not spoiling late game character development in Smash again. And then
yeah, that's the thing, right? It is I don't know, like, was blurring it even worth it when he literally showed the costume earlier?
It's the type of thing where it's like, okay, it's something that it's what both the Xenoblade games have, a few plot twists where it's like, yeah, okay, I think you could reasonably just expect this to happen.
But a third form of the
just like the idea of like, this person is a part of this other person, you know.
Yeah.
Anime does a lot of fusion hoo-has. Yeah. What if it was like both? It's pretty reasonable.
Yeah, I mean, I will say, obviously, I know about Fiora.
It doesn't affect that much. It isn't like the crux of the plot.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I figured.
Big plot twist, which is good.
Yeah.
I mean, both games definitely didn't have their major like plot twists and revelations spoiled in Smash.
Yeah.
But it's also just a thing where it's like, oh man, this was a cool moment.
It was kind of like how Akechi or Crow's like colors were part of Joker's thing, and everyone's like, "Oh my god, spoilers, spoilers!" And I was like, "Not really, like not really."
If Sakurai was just like, "These are the colors of Crow,"
A character that betrays everybody and is the son of the main villain, and blah blah blah. Spoilers for Persona 5. Sorry. But yeah, I don't know. I thought that was funny during the presentation that I was like, "Oh my god, is that?" Because everyone, I don't know. I remember like Game Awards 2019.
I'm glad she got key art now.
Yeah, I don't know what it looks like yet, so we'll see. I thought that was really cool how he talked about how they went to Monolith Soft for like writing the trailer, and I didn't really realize that Sakurai would have written most of all the trailers. So like. He is able to write the words "Mario is impaled by Ridley's tail," and it happens. Like, hello, that's amazing.
I'm a little disappointed that it was Monolith Soft, just because I was like, oh wow, we finally have like an art style in the Smash stuff.
Oh yeah,
in the Smash trailers, instead of going for more hyper realism, which is dope. Don't get me wrong, but I was like, man, I really like this kind of cell shaded style they're going for. Brings a lot of pop. The action works well. It's like, oh, I like this.
And I always wonder, like, why do they pick the people they pick to fight against? Like, it was what, Dark Pit, Link, and Samus, and I'm always like, why those ones? Like, are they relevant to that game in a way? Like, do they kind of resemble characters from Xenoblade 2?
I doubt it.
Okay.
If you wanted someone who resembled someone, you'd pick Sephiroth.
Okay, fair.
Fair. Or I don't know, but Ike maybe. Like, but. I mean, here we have one thing we can confirm, though.
They're coming out today.
We now officially know that for a character to be considered for Smash Brothers, they need a figure to exist.
Yes, figure theory is goodbye. Concert leak. Hello, figure theory. Oh god.
Concert leak. Was there another leak? I assume.
Yeah, it was one. Good old 4chan. It was just like it was a list that someone put together, and it was like basically a concert that was going to celebrate the end of Smash Ultimate, and like it had music for each character, all 82, 83. Oh, it would have been 82, or I think it would have been minus Pura and Mithra, whatever. But it was the only leak, quote unquote, rumor, whatever you want to call it, that had predicted Pura and Mithra as well as everyone before. So that's why it gained a lot of traction. So it was everyone up to Pura Mithra, and then it was Monster Hunter, and then Crash as the final. And so it was like all these things, blah, blah, blah. And the first thing they do is reveal Monster Hunter Mii Fighters are coming back. So yeah, rip.
Dude, Monster Hunter has just gotten screwed over so many times.
Yeah.
I take Monster Hunter and Crash, though. Like, I take that.
I don't know if okay, this is one thing I want to talk about, but I don't... Do you want to do it now? Okay, so...
Do we want to go over our annual... what Smash characters we want to see before we move on?
Sure, we can do that. But my main question.
I assume that's what your question was.
Oh no, but we can do that if you want. My main question.
We've covered it enough.
Yeah, you're right. Comes down to. Okay, so I look at all the DLC as like, oh, cool, another character in my favorite fighting game, and then there are people that are like, holding Sakurai to the fire. If he doesn't do this, then this is the worst game ever. And I don't understand it. I don't.
Internet discourse.
And I don't, like, I know that, like, for you, I know you're a very reasonable person, and you can be disappointed with the character, and that's totally cool. For me, I'm always like, but it's more of my favorite game. Like, it's a series, like, I don't care about ARMS, but even for that, I was like, wow, it's getting, like, I don't know. I just think it's cool. Like, I don't care, but it's cool. And I will say, I can definitely recognize that this Fighter's Pass hasn't been as awesome compared to the first. Like, with that first pass, each of those characters, I'm like, hell yeah, that's cool. Oh yeah, even Byleth, I know. But with this one, it's kind of like, oh, all right, Min, Steve's cool.
There are 4 of us.
Sephiroth's a little weird. Pura Mithra's cool, but a little weird. Whereas with that first pass... I literally bought. Finally, I got Dragon Quest XI's on PS4 for $7. I got it because of an Amazon glitch, and I'm so happy. $7. Can't wait to play it. But it's like I never would have cared if it wasn't for
Bro,
Smash.
that first pass was just like, oops, all bangers.
Yeah.
And Byleth.
Yeah, but hey, Byleth, Three Houses, one of my favorite Switch games. I can't
love
complain.
that game too. I love that game too. But I wonder. I don't know. I'm just imagining.
Did you watch the Schaefer Illis video I sent in the chat? He basically defended Byleth, and it was amazing.
Oh.
He basically said that Fire Emblem actually has bad representation and not enough, and it was interesting. I don't know.
I mean, I don't agree with not enough. I think we don't have good variety. That
Well, that was his argument that there actually is okay variety, but it's not good. I don't know. It's interesting. I recommend checking it out.
I just mean in terms of at the very least the older ones, the Marth, Roy, Ike, Lucina, Chrom crowd.
Right. He argued though that Chrom and Roy don't count because they're echoes. So I thought that was interesting, but
I guess.
Interesting video. But that's my question. Why? Yeah. I'm trying to figure out a better way to phrase it, but I don't really see this whole this character doesn't deserve it. It's a waste of a slot. To me, I'm always well, this is what it was gonna be. How is it a waste? It's not like Byleth made it in. Oh, suddenly Crash can't make it. That's not how it works.
That is false equivalence, of course.
Yeah.
But I do totally get the idea of being man, I hope that I want these characters,
Yeah.
And then just to see for different reason, it's just targeting a different market. That can be disappointing, man.
Yeah.
Dude, if in Strive the last character was Elfeld, people would be pissed. In the West, we hate Elfeld.
Oh, really? Oops, I clicked on the wrong thing.
It's oh god. In
not
Japan, she's much more popular, but it's also the thing where it's oh my god, no, not again.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I guess maybe I'm just easy to please. I was thinking about this, but
years in excerpt.
But I don't know. It's the same thing with. I think I don't know. I don't know what it is, and I wish I could talk to someone that
idea of missed potential.
I can too,
this
but
this is the shot where it's we can go. This is the only chance we have to go this far with it.
Yeah.
So when you see it's okay, safe picks, and it's okay, cool.
But he makes them all interesting and I care. I actually kind of want to try out King of Fighters, even though Terry's one of my lesser favorites. That was introduced. That's still interesting.
Terry's the boy.
Although I'll fully admit, because of the time, let's see, Joker was announced in December, and he didn't come out until April, which was kind of crazy, the longest. So I managed to play through the first dungeon and a half of his game before he even released. Whereas all these other characters, I was I'll get to them later. But yeah. So
I don't know, man, it's just difference of.
Or actually, Final Fantasy VII I already played through, so.
I think it's partially the thing where it's for a long time, especially with Ultimate, it was just banger after banger.
Yeah.
After
dude, my God. Heroes Reveal trailer still is one of the best ones.
It's really good. And even then, I think it's a lot easier to swallow a third party that you don't care about than a first party that you don't care about, And
that's what I don't understand either, is a lot of people it has to be a third party. And I'm just...
Because it's crossover.
Right, but it's also a Nintendo game.
It's transformed, It's it's transcended the whole Nintendo idea.
But you even look at Smash 4, and you had first-party DLC characters in that game.
Yeah, that was before it truly transcended it,
Yeah.
Back then it was third parties are a cool guest extra, but they're expected to leave, It's that one shot it's cool.
Yeah.
But then with Ultimate, no, we got Snake back.
Yeah. I mean, I want Master Chief more than anything in the world, but if he doesn't make it in the game, I don't really care. I don't really care. And maybe that's just my attitude about it.
DLC seasons go, especially with fighting games.
I will say I got super sad when he was there's only going to be 2 more, and I will only talk to you guys 2 more times. And I was I love these things so much. I was I kind of want to skip the gameplay part because I thought he was going to do classic mode, but he did Squad Strike, which is interesting. I was I might skip this, just but I was no, I just want to have fun and watch this,
Mm-hmm.
I love that man so much.
people get, I mean, like a large part of why people play certain characters is because they're like, I like this character, you know?
Yeah.
So especially when it's one where the entire conceit is your favorite characters from everything.
Yeah.
Of course, you're going to be a lot more gunning for the character that you really want to play as.
I mean, look at me. I'm a tier whore, I'll admit it. But like I love playing as Byleth, probably because I like the game so much, you know? She sucks, but I like playing as her, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Whereas, like, every other character, I don't care about Wolf. He's cool, but I don't care. I don't care about Palutena.
Palutena is... Palutena is the character of, like, I want to play a good character.
I'm so glad I got over that phase, you know?
You
I was never even that good with her, to be honest.
She was probably your weakest character.
Yeah, I played her so much in tournament too that like I kind of got I got very much not gooded in tournament with Palu. And every time I played Wolf, I did okay. You know, I'd actually win sets and games, but with Palu, nah.
Violet though, I could bet money on saying that a solid 70 to 80% or more of my experiences with salty players and rage quits, like online or at locals, they were playing Palutena.
Yeah, it's
guaranteed.
Yeah, she's like the Marth of Ultimate, almost. I feel like.
I'm trying to think of what.
Think of the melee equivalent.
Rub character.
Yeah, I mean, because the thing is, like, a really, really skilled like Palu is going to be great, but like Palu's also easy to play and do good with, just like Marth.
Yeah, there's no issue with playing Palu or as a character. It's just the thing where it's like this is typically even on tier lists a lot of the time, especially by those that aren't good. The best characters in the game are like the most effective and the most easy to pull off.
Yeah. And then
you could have a character that's like, oh yeah, they can instant, like, basically just unblockable you to death, but they have to do a lot of setup for that, and it's kind of rare if it happens.
That's like Pikachu.
So they're not
like Pikachu's really hard to play, and he's really good.
Jacko in Guilty Gear is literally a character that everyone hates because it's quite literally either a stomp for the opponent or you can't do anything.
Oh no.
She literally plays an RTS while you play Guilty Gear. It's crazy.
Oh my god, that's insane.
That's what Guilty Gear is, baby.
And I'll be honest, that's sad. But hey, at least the beta's been good.
It's a good. I mean, here's the thing: it's not like Final Fantasy VII Remake or Cyberpunk, where it's like I am not confident in this because it got delayed. This is like one where it's like we played pretty much the release state of the game, and it was godlike.
Hopefully that happens with Halo Infinite, man.
Servers got overloaded.
God, I hope.
And then now they said we're delaying the game because we're working on servers in our lobbies. So it's like, oh,
interesting.
Well, great.
No, that's interesting. I wish them the best. I do wish them the best.
It's why the beta happened, man, to test the servers and make sure it worked. And then they're like, okay, so let's make sure it works by launch. We need some more time.
That's dope. If only, God, I don't know. I've played so many goddamn Call of Duty betas where like there's massive issues, and they're like, okay, we'll fix it, and then the game comes out and they fix like one thing, and it's like, oh god, damn it.
I mean, the lobbies aren't gonna get a massive rework. Like they're gonna suck, but at the very least, it's like, okay, we're going to make sure our servers don't overload. And at the very least, the game plays great and the netcode is godlike.
That's good. No, that's really good.
So it's like, okay, I'm going to be able to play this game and have a great time with it. That's what matters.
No, especially online because, 2021.
Oh,
we're in 2020, the sequel.
Smash's online is...
Yeah.
Terrible.
It's really bad. It's sad.
Is it the worst?
It's easily one of the worst online games I've played. Like connection and stability and just everything.
Yeah.
It's bad.
Like, even in crappy delay-based netcodes for fighting games, when two people have Ethernet, they're like, okay, yeah, we can concede and do like play some sets and do a tournament kind of online
Yeah,
thing, right?
yeah. Especially when they're pros
sucks.
with better internet than,
It
Joe.
sucks, and we can't do like worldwide. But you know what? Okay, we can put our things aside and be like, well, that was salty because the internet sucked.
Yeah, yeah.
What do you think Next Level Battle Circuit is doing with Street Fighter V for the past like literally year?
I can't even imagine.
I mean, that's just what they do. And with Street Fighter V and Dragon Ball and stuff, and it works,
And then there's
But
Smash. Oh
Smash,
god.
people gave up a month in, and I do not blame them.
It's sad, man, because like I don't know what's going on, and like there's been so many new. How many characters have come out during the pandemic? Byleth? I don't know if you count Byleth.
Nah.
Okay, so what? Min, and then everyone else.
So 4.
Damn, man. And like Sephiroth would have been a sick character to see in tournament, like a legit tournament. Because CEO would have happened around the time he came out in January.
Mm-hmm.
Or no, God, not Genesis would have happened. And he would have been out. He probably wouldn't have been in the tournament. Probably not. But still.
Consolation, to be fair, likely, second half 2020 we'll be seeing the return.
I just remember when Evo happened and everyone was like, oh my god, is Hero going to be? Oh god, Hero's in Evo. It was like, uh-oh. And Salem was the only like legit like top tier player that got him above like pools. So
I do not agree with the RNG argument. I absolutely agree with the language barrier argument.
Yeah, that's a shame. Because
it's a shame.
I feel like that's something they would have thought of,
Yeah, I mean, it's very hard to circumvent,
Especially when you're trying to represent the series,
I get why.
It's funny because it's a series that was like known for having like no like good localization and stuff. So it's funny that kind of transferred into Smash.
But so yeah, Smash is happening. Other things that happened. Okay, so let's talk about the PlayStation.
Okay, yeah. So I wanted to kind of tail that with what I was saying earlier about like just I'm easy to please. Yeah, there's just nothing to talk about other than like I don't know. Am I easy to please? Am I genuinely?
I mean, like the things that we were both interested in before is still like interesting now.
Yeah.
And there's nothing.
And really Yuffie, baby.
There's Intergrade.
I got unnecessarily hyped for that. Like, I was rewatching my reaction. I'm like, what? Why did I get so hyped? Like, huh? It was cool, but I don't know. I thought that Yuffie's brother, cousin, whoever that was, I thought that was gonna be Vincent, and I almost lost my mind.
A guy I was watching was like, "Is that Sid?"
I was thinking Sid or Vincent, but
first.
Yeah.
Whole arm, and he was like, Sid?
I just saw black with like a kind of cape looking thing. I was like, oh god. But man, that looks good.
I wonder how they're gonna tackle Vincent.
I'm scared. I'm just scared. Did you ever finish 7, by the way?
No.
Okay.
Where am I right now?
I'm curious how they're gonna tackle Zack, but
I'm at Nibelheim.
Oh, that's the flashback?
So I'm about to get I'm about to.
Oh, okay. Did you do the the extra Zack cutscene thing?
In Gongaga?
In Nibelheim, like when you're in the basement.
I haven't gotten there yet.
Okay, well after you interface with Mr. Sephiroth, there's like a book on a shelf that if you touch, Cloud will have a flashback. It really should have been like a mandatory cutscene, but it's like his backstory with Zack, and it's like mandatory to know what the fuck,
Yeah, I'll do it. I'll make sure. That looks cool.
It does. I was kind of thinking
they're now selling the base game at $70.
Yeah, that's stupid.
We're starting to move towards it.
Well, like, and that's the other thing is like I already own it, and the upgrade's nice. But like, wow. Yeah. I just hope
the upgrade is free. Great.
Watch them make the Yuffie DLC $20. Like. You know what I mean?
I mean, likely that's what it's gonna be. Dude, I hope it's $20 and not 30. Like,
I was thinking it would be 10 because the base game without like the Yuffie episode is what 60 on PS5, and then it's 70 with it or something. I don't know. It's like $10 less without it, so people are thinking it'll be like 10. But
usually that's because they.
I will say it kind of sets a scary precedent for the future of Final Fantasy VII Remake projects. Because they were talking about it being episodic, right? Like 2015, 2016, right? And everyone's like, no, don't do that. and it seems like they're a lot more comfortable with that idea, or they're testing the waters. But like,
bro, it's Kingdom Hearts.
I don't know. I don't know how much I really am gonna care after it all when it's like, with 5-hour, 2-hour Yuffie episode that was separate, but like, I don't know, man. Plus, it kind of,
this is just a final mix.
Yeah,
Upgrade that
it just kind of also ruins what I was hoping they would do with her in the second part. So I'm wondering, like, will you have to play the Yuffie episode to understand her inclusion in part 2, or is she even going to be in part 2? It's like, I don't know. I'm scared for the future, because one of my favorite things in the original Final Fantasy VII was, oh my god, there's a character here that you fight and they're on your team now. Like, what?
But Yuffie is the worst.
I like Yuffie. She was in my team after Spoilers died. I was like, yep, you're with me.
Are you really spoiler texting that?
It was yeah, sorry. Yeah, it was I had Cloud, Sid, Yuffie, and Vincent for like the whole game after Aerith died. So
I mean, okay, you know what? I can't judge. I'm probably going to be the one person who ever uses Kate Sith.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Oh, and that's another thing that the remake did that was weird. That was just like, oh, it's Kate Sith. Why is he here? Like, I feel like they did it for fan service, and it's just like, please.
Well, I mean, he'd be there the whole time.
You are right, but it's like, I want them to like keep it for later.
Scott,
have I become what?
Purist?
No, I do not give a crap. I just want them to hold on to their load, save your load for later.
I think I like what they're doing with Yuffie, honestly, more than
interesting. Interesting. Yeah. I think it'll definitely flesh her character out more, which is good.
Yeah. I like,
and her design looks so good. I love it. So I'm so glad they didn't go with her fucking Dirge Cerberus fucking ugh.
I mean, it's a callback to it.
Yeah, no, I know. But good. Oh god, and we got to talk about Weiss at the end of the integrated trailer.
I believe that is just a VR battle.
Okay, that's what people were thinking too. So, because if they start,
at least the thing we see of it, it's in a VR battle.
Okay,
and also all of the stuff they've been handling from the compendium has been done really well.
True. I didn't mess around with it too much, but I'll probably revisit it with integrate.
So it's like, okay.
I am looking forward to replaying it, because when I played it, I was still playing it on PS4, and so it was 1080 30. But now I'll play it at 4K 60. So,
I mean, Elden Ring got leaked.
Yeah,
apparently footage. I haven't watched it.
Okay, it's people are obviously complaining, and I'm tired of complaining. Just say you don't like it and move on, and don't write a five paragraph essay about it. I don't know, man. Again, I'm not invested in FromSoft like at all. I may own like 4 of their games, but I don't care. Like, I'm sure it'll be good. I don't know. People are gonna nitpick it, and they will. But I don't know. The main complaints from what I've heard is, why is the sky blue, and it looks bad. And first of all, it was shot like at an angle vertically with a phone, so I don't even know if you can criticize the graphics. But I don't know.
Okay. I was just about to take a pot shot, but we'll do that in a second. I want to go into it smoother.
Ooh.
So the first soldier, huh?
Oh yeah, that didn't end up to be anything.
Genuinely disappointed, because that would be a banger title for part 2.
Yeah, like when that trademark trademark leaked or whatever. I don't know.
It's whatever. One of the things that people always say point to something,
Yeah.
Or like they renewed the copyright, and they're like, "Oh, that means Golden Sun's coming back."
Yeah, no. Oh, did you hear how Square bought the company, or the studio that did the remake for Panzer Dragoon? And everyone's like, "Uh-oh, what is this gonna be?" People are worried. They're like, "Uh-oh." There was rumors that they were gonna do Final Fantasy IX, like a remaster. I don't know.
I mean, that's like the cult hit,
Yeah.
That's like the one that the hipsters are like, this is actually the best Final Fantasy.
Dude, I've played like 4 hours of it, and it's really good.
Yeah, I mean, I've played a couple hours of it too. It totally is. Honestly, that's probably one of the ones that need it the least.
Interesting.
So
yeah.
It's like especially of the PS1 games.
No, yeah, you're right. Like I
by
booted
far.
up my old PS1 on my CRT, and I was doing 7 and then 8, just 9 in comparison. Dude, the jump between 7 and 8 alone is amazing, but dude, 9, they nailed it. It just, oh.
Honestly, in certain ways, it's almost aged better than 10 in a few
Yeah, I
ways, you know?
agree. I agree.
Like, but it's also the one where I'm like, oh, dude, if you really put time into this and make like a traditional remaster of like, we're gonna remake the assets, we're gonna upgrade it, and it runs at 60. It's like, oh, this could be
Yeah,
godlike.
it could be good. Um, yeah,
HD.
especially, well, I don't know. I know a lot of people weren't thrilled with the Panzer Dragoon remake, so there is that, but I don't know. I don't know. A lot of people are
I mean,
throwing around Chrono Trigger as
probably
well.
probably harder to screw up. Oh yeah, true. The Chrono Trigger. The issue with the Chrono Trigger remaster is that was a phone game.
Yeah, yeah.
So the UI was just
Yeah.
garish.
Didn't it have the old script too? It didn't have the DS scripts.
I do not know actually.
Yeah, okay. I don't know. I know there's all those weird things, but
But then there was uh Ever Crisis,
God, why
which
is
I
that on phones only? Please.
all likelihood once it's done, it's gonna hit. It's like Final Fantasy 15 Pocket Edition,
Yeah,
likely.
it'll come to Switch. Yeah. The
Eventually.
thing is, it looks good though. Like,
It looks good.
yeah,
I think it looks pretty interesting, you know. We'll have
yeah,
to see how it plays out. I like the idea. And let's keep that in mind. How this is a phone game. And I was impressed by its
yeah,
visuals.
yeah. Fair. I don't know, dude. Phone games look great these days.
So
Honestly.
let's lead that into the Pokemon Direct.
All right, all right. Here we go.
Where I genuinely thought this is not even me being like, I don't even remember what word I'm going for. This isn't me pulling your leg. I genuinely thought the Diamond and Pearl remakes, I genuinely thought it was a phone game
Really,
when it
that's
first
funny.
the
No,
graphics were showed.
that's funny.
I because of Ever Crisis looking good,
Oh yeah.
I genuinely was like, oh, that's the monkey paw, isn't it? I was like, oh man, they made it on phones. But now
Oh
I'm just like, oh, it just looks bad. Like,
yeah.
I'm fine with the style,
I mean, me
but it's
too.
just visually poor.
And I'm wondering.
It was, and it sucks because that's like my
See, I've never
like,
played
everyone
Diamond
has
and
like,
Pearl,
if
so
you if you've even interacted with Pokemon, there's like, oh, you have your
yeah,
gen
yeah.
where it's like, oh, this was the one that was my crib. Like that was my crib.
Yeah, I know. I mean, it's one of the more interesting generations to me because when I was growing up playing Brawl and stuff, that was the generation that was represented because it was brand new. So, you had
Mhm.
Lucario and just like the stage and the music and everything
Yes,
like
you're
was
totally-
Gen 4. So, like, I've always wanted to play Gen 4. Um, and this is an interesting topic. The game looks faithful that I was surprised. I genuinely thought they were going to go with a sword and shield, like, kind of upgrade, improve. I'm kind of glad they didn't. I don't know.
I'm good that they didn't either. I'm not disappointed because it looks like a remake,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
a great remake. Like this is a thing where it's like Link's Awakening, where it's like, oh man, I kind of with Link's Awakening, my thought process was like, I think I would prefer if it looks like the cutscene.
Interesting, yeah.
But then they really put a lot of effort into the visuals
Yeah, I
and the style.
remember. Yeah. I like
It
fell in
grew on me.
love. I fell in love the second I saw it. I'll be honest. Link's Awakening, man.
This is one where I'm looking at it and I'm like, oh my god, the model is so low poly, and the
Yeah.
colors are so like flat. There's no definition.
I haven't
Like,
looked
and the
enough at all of the
textures are like,
stuff. And
it's
again, I don't know Diamond and Pearl and Platinum like at all. Which, by the way, people are speculating that this is actually going to be sort of like Platinum as a base with Diamond and Pearl differences in each game, which is
I
interesting.
hope to God it is. It better be.
Because people were pointing out how like flowers in one of the main town, there's like a flower display or something, like just a fucking grid. Pokemon's all grid based, so it was like flowers were laid out differently in the trailer, and it compared better to like Platinum than it did in Diamond and Pearl. And there were a few other examples, like a certain character that shows up only in Platinum that was like kind of hinted at. So and that could be interesting, but because I know
I mean, I
Platinum's
hope
like one of the beloved
Platinum
games.
a lot of improvements to it because that's
Yeah,
the one I played.
yeah. Okay, interesting.
and more content and all that. It's just totally the thing where it's like, man, I I'm not gonna give the Pokemon series any breaks.
Yeah.
It's like this is the highest grossing franchise in the world.
Yeah. Yeah.
There is no right that you should be this far behind the
Yeah.
people that are already far behind.
It's
You
interesting
know,
too because I believe I did not confirm this, but I believe the remake, so Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, or is it the other way around?
one of
It's not being done by Game Freak, which
it
when I
is
first
it
heard
is.
that, I was like, wait, what? But then it made sense. I was like, okay, thank God. Like that means Legends might be good? Huh?
Oh, I think Legends looks bad too.
Oh, what? Really?
Yeah, dude, how does it look good at all?
I mean, I don't think it looks good, but it doesn't look bad.
I
I don't know what
it's
it is, but it looks fine.
watching it, and I'm just like,
It looks like the
see,
Pokemon game people wanted Sword and Shield to be. Like, really?
but it's
I don't
also the
know.
thing where it's like, okay, so
It looks like a
did
Switch game, but
it? I mean, just okay. Just to finish off the Diamond and Pearl remakes,
Yeah.
like, there's just the one image where it's like the one trainer, the female trainer,
Yeah,
like,
looking at the camera.
looking at the camera, and I'm just like, this just, oh my god.
I'll
There's
be
like
honest,
it's like flat colors, like what?
I don't really. I haven't looked at all the comparisons, but I don't really mind it. I don't know.
I don't know, man. Maybe it's because it's like hitting my crib.
I think the other thing you have to keep in mind is like, this is something people have been pointing out too. Is like, there's this, which is a remake of an old game, so it's appealing to the old fans. Whereas Legends is appealing to the people that like the Sword and Shield style and all that.
I am an old fan.
I don't know. That's just how I've heard people talk about it. I don't know. I feel like no matter, like, again, I'm not trying to defend Pokemon, but it's like no matter what they do, people complain. And I don't get it. I don't understand. Because I look at Pokemon and I'm like, that looks like crap. I don't care. Or,
I think it's a thing where it just feels like if you're reading into it very like aggressively laziness, if you're reading into it more business side than just
brilliance. I'm just kidding.
not giving them any
Yeah.
time,
Oh, yeah. I mean,
It's
it
not
is
fun.
fair. I get it, because, I mean, I've played Call of Duty every year for the past, 7 years? So I totally get what it's like to have a yearly franchise that you love kind of not be amazing every year. I get it. But, like, I don't know.
It's just the thing where it's like you can track the paper trail
Yeah.
with Sword and Shield, where it's like, okay,
I know a lot of people were thinking that
So
this started with, like, X and Y.
so you quite literally took away a lot of stuff with adding next to nothing while using the same assets.
And it's what, like, the 5th best-selling game on the Switch? That's sad.
I know.
That is sad.
It's-
I'll admit that's
it
sad.
So it's just like, okay.
And I think Let's
So-
Go is, like, number 7.
Dude, if it looked like Let's Go, I'd be like, oh my god, this is incredible.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because Let's Go looks really good.
It actually does, yeah.
Like you look that's the comparison image you see, where
I know.
it's the Diamond and Pearl remake, like battle screen versus the Let's Go one.
And then the Sword and Shield tree. Don't forget the Sword and Shield tree.
the Sword and Shield tree.
Never forget.
Or are we gonna talk about the Legends tree now?
Where's the Fire Emblem Three Houses brick wall and fruit?
The 7 door.
Oh god, dude! When they were, I don't know if you really did watch my reaction, but when they were doing the improved textures, I was like, please show the door, and then they didn't show the door, and I was kind of like, actually, don't fix the door. Like I was like, please don't fix the door.
I would love if the door was the same.
Yeah.
So I'm disappointed in how the Diamond and Pearl remakes look.
Yeah.
Because it's
I
like,
was
man,
talking. I have a coworker that loves Pokemon, like loves it, and I was kind of grilling him. I'm like, okay, so I don't care about Pokemon. I've played some of the games; they're interesting. This looks cool. Please tell me why you're disappointed. And he kind of gave the same reasons where he's like, I just don't think it looks good, and like, I don't know, like what were you expecting for a Diamond and Pearl remake, personally?
What was I expecting?
Yeah.
I mean, if I'm being honest, what I was expecting at the very I wasn't expecting anything to be real.
Fair.
I did not watch the Pokemon
I didn't
direct.
either. I didn't either.
You know, I don't really care that much. It's just like, what would I be expecting?
Because genuine, like I know Ruby and Sapphire, they did like an X and Y style remake of those with the more
That would have
3D
been good.
environments and stuff. Now those were the last remakes. That's the thing is, Let's Go. It's
What,
hard to really count it.
at the very least, in terms of we're remaking the assets
Yeah,
in
yeah,
a new style, you know?
yeah.
If I was being
So
real, if I was
right,
putting this to the standards that I put, and I think everyone should put, like, you know, other companies, I would say it should look like Let's Go, you know? Like, that's like you have the money and you have the people who can do it, so you should do it. But at the same time, it's like, okay, it's Pokemon here. Got to temper our expectations down by a couple notches.
3%. Yeah.
I mean, if it was like just the models from Sword and Shield, it'd be I'm fine with the style we have. It's just like,
I'm
man,
interested
it's
because I
just not
know.
well, I
Yeah, no, I
guess.
get you. I'm
And
interested
like,
because I know a big thing with Pokemon for a long time with people was like it just feels like every game they remove a good feature and add another pointless one, and I'm wondering like how much of the
true.
mechanics they're going to keep from Sword and Shield. You know, I don't know
See,
because does
if
this?
the if the Ruby and Sapphire remakes are anything to take into account, they're gonna remove content.
Yeah, I've heard that those remakes did that. Sadly,
They removed the entirety of the post game, pretty much.
dang. Well, I don't play Pokemon for the post game, so I don't
I mean, it's
personally
just a thing where it's
care.
like
But
in the original, it's like, oh, there's the battle frontier, and it has
yeah,
a lot of stuff to do and things to
yeah.
figure out, and they're just like, no, it's not in here. Like, nope.
I
It's
don't know.
like, oh,
I think obviously
okay.
I'm pretty casual when it comes to Pokemon. Like when I finished Sun and Moon, like I beat the Elite Four, the final cutscene played, and I was like, okay, cool. I didn't touch it after that. Like I don't play
Hmm.
Pokemon for the post game. That's just not what it's I don't know, it doesn't interest me personally. Like I get why people would be into it because it's like, oh, more of the game. I can play with the mechanics more, really get into trading and making breeding and getting the best possible Pokemon I can. But for me, I'm just like I want to experience the game and the story and cool. And so it sucks that like I've heard Sword and Shield actually has pretty okay post game, especially with the DLC, and so
Mhm.
that makes me happy for people that care. But it's like there's like how many generations now with how many games? It's like this is another thing I wanted to talk about eventually, but we'll see. But it's like how much does it really matter? I get removing it, but like I don't know how much does it really matter when there's 20 other games
Uh, it matters because they're selling this product that
for
has less
$60.
in
Yeah.
it for full price.
Well, yeah, and that's the thing. We
For
don't.
more than they sold the other ones.
I will be curious to know like what they're carrying over between Sword and Shield and then this because my other question, like a smaller question, does this? So what generation did so Gen 7 was Sun and Moon and Ultra Moon.
Yep.
What did Let's Go Pikachu? Did that fall into Gen 7 or 8?
It came before, so it's kind of because it's like an entirely different type
Yeah,
of game.
so it
you
doesn't
know?
really count. Okay, so I'm
Yeah.
assuming that this will then fall. I don't think Legends
Oh,
will,
for how it
but
looks, it's also trying to really go back. It
yeah,
isn't adapting Sword and Shield
no,
to
yeah.
this. Like, if how this, I'm perfectly fine with the style they're doing. It's just like, man, this.
Hey, okay, I'll ask
if
you
the
this.
graphics so far like looked at like the fidelity and like the texturing and
The world itself, like the
the
terrain
world,
and
if it
that
looked
looked
on
good.
the level of the Link's Awakening remake, I'd be like, hell yes,
Yeah.
that sounds incredible. But right now it's like, okay, so these new models don't look that great, and we're using the same Pokemon models since X and Y and the same animations. Well, maybe a few new ones for certain attacks, but it's like, okay, you're not giving me anything here.
Yeah,
The
it's
same
weird because
product.
I'm kind of the target demographic for what Game Freak wants their consumers to be. Where I'm like, I don't really care. It looks cool. I'll buy it. It's
Mhm.
like I don't know all the minute details. I don't know about the Safari Zone and the Wild Area. Like I don't know these things. So when I see this Diamond and Pearl remake, I'm like, oh, I'm really surprised that they're going very faithful. I'm very surprised that they're going with this kind of art style, and it doesn't look crazy over the top complicated. I might check it out. Whereas like with like Final Fantasy VII Remake, like if I had never played, if I was a very casual Final Fantasy, person, I'd be super intimidated by it. Which I know, apples to oranges, but it's
Mm,
like this. I was like, oh god, they're gonna go with like a sword and shield. I don't know, like I genuinely thought that it was gonna be a sword and shield style like
I don't know if
game,
I'd.
but
Oof. If they went with Sword and Shield style, I don't know how I'd feel, because it's hard to tell. But at the very least, I'd be like, oh, okay, so they're going with a new direction with it.
yeah, it's just
It,
weird
it'd
because
be
they spent a
different.
year with the DLC, so I feel
Different.
like, granted, Game Freak's not working on this, but it's like they had experience with the game longer than they necessarily would have otherwise. So it's like it would have been a good. I don't know. I'm just kind of baffled that they did.
At the very least, we know that this is hopefully, if they very much base this off of Platinum in terms of gameplay and stuff, it's like, okay, yeah, this is a good one. you know,
Yeah.
it's no longer like, okay, so everything is tuned to be so incredibly easy.
Well, I know that was a
You know,
problem with Let's Go for people.
not just that, but even with Sword and Shield, where it's like everything has shared experience and there's no way to turn it off.
Oh well, okay,
And
and that's the other thing is like as a cat, like I don't care. Like I kind of want my Pokemon to do that. So like I just
it
shouldn't
always,
talk about Pokemon.
the issue is it's always been an option.
Right, right.
If you're
Wait,
wanting
really?
to have more, in most games it's an item or an option.
In
Yeah.
Sun and Moon, like, can you turn it off?
Yeah, I believe so.
Huh. I mean, I don't remember.
At the very least, I know in X and Y it's definitely an option. Same in
Fair, no
the
fair.
the and all that.
Why is it okay? I do want to know why do people not like the XP share? Like to me, it's a net benefit for like overall. Like I don't see why you'd personally want to turn it off.
I think it's mixed with the fact that typically the Pokemon gameplay isn't structured in a way that is very hard in the first place, or even
Yeah,
challenging that much if you
yeah,
have a type advantage.
yeah.
It simply just exacerbates the issue, you know?
I mean, again, as a kid, I always struggled with Pokemon games. I'm not a Pokemon person, so I don't know why I'm talking about this. It's just interesting to like pick people's brains that do know, because like I really don't know anything. I've played
Mhm.
what 3 of the games. I couldn't tell you the first thing about them. Like I don't know. It's interesting though to see like it's the biggest media franchise ever. Most successful. Blah 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 blah. And all their games go for $200, even though they all sold really well. But it's like it's just interesting. Like I'm so far removed, yet I've also experienced it. That's like I'm not passionate. I don't care.
It's just like the thing where it's like,
I'll buy a game every other year. To be fair, like they did the DLC physical release of Sword and Shield with the DLC like built in. I almost thought about buying it. I was like, but I don't know. I know that game's like hot trash to a lot of people, so I was like, eh.
yeah.
But then again,
I mean,
it's a Pokemon game on the Switch, which is the problem. It's like, oh,
so I guess at the end of the day, like I'm not worried about. Well, slightly I am with track records and all, like the content in the Diamond and Pearl remakes, and I'm
I will
glad they're
ask,
happening.
does it look better
I,
than Pokemon Mystery Dungeon on the Switch?
I mean, I think I prefer how it looks in Mystery
Okay,
Dungeon.
interesting, because I kind of hated that game on every level that I played it. I did not enjoy, but hey,
I mean, if we're talking pure visuals, I think it
I'm
looks
not a
better because it
Pokemon person. It also
goes
ran at
like
30, which was kind of weird.
I hope this wasn't running at 30 in the trailer.
I don't actually
You know
know.
what wasn't running at 30, Scott?
Legends. To be
Pokemon
fair,
Arceus.
they did
I'm giving them.
say
I'm giving them what? What? They said it was early in development.
they said 2021, 2022. I don't know.
2022. But remember.
Do you remember when we first saw
remember what
Xenoblade
happened with-
Chronicles 2 and it looked like terrible?
Yes,
Do you
but
remember
that's a
that?
different studio. Remember when we first saw Sword and Shield and it looked bad, and then it came
Yeah.
out and it looked the same.
Yeah. I don't know. Like I don't know. Like it's the Switch, man. I complain about its graphics all the time, even on good-looking games. So I don't know.
I mean, even from the graphics, I genuinely do not see how people are excited about Legends.
I don't know. It's
I'm
cool.
it's like, okay,
I don't know. I don't have a good argument.
I see nothing here.
I mean, it's different. Like, I think that's
Yes.
what the main thing is, that it's not the same.
I guess, but it's just kind of the thing where it's like, So there's no like trainers or
As
gyms.
far as we know.
I mean, that's what they said.
When did they say that?
Or, at least they said that in the trailer. At least that's what people have been saying. Or at least it's
Interesting.
like a time buff for it, you know?
Well, I know it's a prequel to Sinnoh or whatever.
It's just the thing where it's like, okay, so we're seeing Pokemon running at 5 frames per second in a large field where you can throw a ball at them, but yet still you
Why is
do
it so
battles.
hard to find an official Pokemon trailer? There we go.
And it's like, okay, I guess. I
Like
guess.
I don't know, the intro part. Like I'm sure it's pre-rendered, but like the intro part they show, I think looks okay. But and even the game itself looks. I don't know. I mean, it looks like a Switch game. Like what? What do you expect, really? The Switch
I
is
expect
the Switch was
nothing
anemic when it came out.
I I mean, okay, this is getting into hardcore like pretentious stuff. But this is one of those things where it's like, okay, but there's no like art style here outside of the character models, you know?
Yeah.
Like the
I mean,
terrain itself.
it does kind of
It
look like generic Unity world.
it looks like it it looks like, remember those old videos where people were like, dude, what if the next Nintendo console looks like this? And it's like an HD Mario running in a field and there's like
Yeah.
elk.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
What? Why though?
Yeah, just your generic Unity remake.
Like, I don't know, man. I've been seeing muddy hills and muddy grass in Pokemon in 3D since early 3DS,
Right.
and they've made almost no improvement nor change in that terms of like art direction and such. You know, a lot of that's like the Pokemon grass style, you know.
Right.
You go in and it's like there's patches of grass and it's muddy the rest in battle, and it's like, okay. So now I can do it without going through a battle transition, I guess.
Right. I mean, okay, I am watching this trailer with more of an analysis mode on. And I don't know. Not as good as I remember it looking when the two a week ago. But to be fair, I watched it on my phone, so
it's just the thing where it's like I don't get anything out of it gameplay wise.
a lot of like looking at the comments, a lot of people are like, "Whoa!"
I know, right? I'm glad people are excited, but
This makes
I
me
don't want to
excited
take
about Pokemon again. Blah blah. Like to me, the way I'm looking at it is, it's different, you know. Which I know
that is
different doesn't automatically equal good, but it's like
but
people have
Pokemon has
wanted,
been stagnant.
yeah, people have wanted a change up in the formula for so long.
My issue, of course, I mean, it's like with the Diamond and Pearl thing, where it's like my issue isn't with they're changing it. It's just that I'm not seeing what they're changing it to yet. You
Yeah,
know, right
yeah,
now I'm seeing very basic, like they stand in the field and then you can throw a ball at them,
right.
and
Just throwing
then
the,
fight wild Pokemon in turn-based.
yeah,
Even though they say it's an action RPG, I guess. Okay.
right. But you can just catch the Pokemon without fighting them, which is weird.
Well, I mean, are you gonna have to like do a thing where to weaken them, you're gonna have to go into turn-based, and then you're gonna have to like run away from the turn-based battle and then throw it at them in the overworld now?
I'm trying to think of an RPG I've played that this reminds me of. To be honest, I'm getting Horizon Zero Dawn vibes from it the most, which is weird.
I mean, you have a dodge roll, and
Like besides like in combat, but like when just moving around the world, it kind of reminds me of that.
yeah.
I don't know. Definitely rewatching this. Yeah, okay, it doesn't look great.
It's just the kind of thing where it's like,
But
you
okay, here's the
know,
other. This is a double-edged sword, right?
oh,
This is the double-edged sword of showing games like too early or whatever. People either will complain that they have not shown anything, and then when they do, it either looks unfinished or and then it's like, well, you wanted to see it. It's not coming out for another year and a half, but you wanted to see it. Or you don't show the game at all, like Elden Ring, to the point where people get desperate. So then when they finally see it, they're like, okay, it does not look like what I expected. So it's like, I'm. This is why I'm glad I don't work in the games industry, because I am a person that wants to please everyone, and it would never happen. So
that's just life.
yep, exactly.
But I mean, also the thing where it's like, if this was like a different dev, if it was like Monolith.
I was gonna ask that. Do you think Monolith is gonna help on this game, like with Breath of the Wild?
Oh, who knows? I hope. But like, if it was another dev that has a track record of pushing things and really putting out quality products and trying to like make the best thing they can, I'd be a lot more forgiving. But Pokemon very much has a track record of being the least potential effort, it feels like, at least.
Yeah, and I'm
sure that the people who are working on the game are doing everything they can to make the best product they can do, but it totally feels like the people above them genuinely do not care at all.
Yeah.
Aside from profit,
Yeah.
So it's just like,
you're
the biggest profiting series,
Gabe, you're forgetting. They clearly care about the consumer because they got Katy Perry and Post Malone to sing songs for them.
True.
Come on.
Dude, they showed a trailer where they showed you every time you bought Pokemon merchandise, and they're just like, isn't it fun buying things?
I actually don't know. But okay, this is interesting. I'm looking at the like to dislike ratio, right, on these videos. So the Sinnoh remakes, and then Legends, let's see. Which, by the way, I think I'm a very, this, I care a lot about a game title. I think Pokemon Legends Arceus?
Mm-hmm.
I've never known. Is it Arceus or Arceus? I've heard Arceus my whole life, personally.
I believe it's Arceus.
Okay, but it wasn't until I started here. Anyways.
So what
I think it's not a great title. Okay, but let's see. So both videos... I
agree with you on that one.
Both
but
videos...
I also don't know what you think a good title is.
Okay, both videos have a decent amount of views. So... the same amount. So Legends has 2.6 million, and then Sinnoh has 2.3. So the like to dislike on Sinnoh is 11,000 down, 62 up, and that's 1,000. And then far more likes on the Legends video with 92 up and 3.5 down. So people seem far more interested in Legends than
those remakes, how they look.
Yeah. It's not as bad as Byleth, sadly, because I think...
Yeah. It's just the models don't look good, man. I can see the edges.
I mean, it's a Switch game. Like, seriously, go play Breath of the Wild on your big-ass TV and tell me it looks good.
Like, you can look at the models and be like, yeah, this is a game.
I don't know. Okay, so I'm watching the they look crisp. Like, the models actually look pretty crisp.
Which
mainly in battle. For the remakes.
I was referring to the overworld one. Where, like, on the guy's hat, you can see, like, the corner. It's like, what?
I mean, in battle, it actually looks pretty good. In my opinion.
I think it could use lines, I guess is what
I know. I know a lot of people were thinking they should do, like, an outline kind of deal.
Because, like, on the blonde kid's hair, like, there's like no definition, so his hair kind of almost blends in to the background in a way.
Which, by the way, that blonde guy is one of the people. Sorry to interrupt. That blonde kid is one of the characters people think is only from Platinum. By the way.
I would not know. I mean, because I have Platinum, and he's in it. But that kind of doesn't matter.
It kind of looks like an early 2000s MMO, like the overworld for some reason. I don't know. I think the terrain itself doesn't look that bad. It's definitely the models, the character models, that look
I
not
agree
good.
with you. Like, I'm fine with the terrain.
The scene, like the part with the wind turbines and stuff, looks pretty cool. It's colorful. I don't know, but
I don't know, man. It just always sucks.
I've definitely had this issue with the Switch for a while where I'm just like, I wish the games looked better. But that's just me.
I don't know. I feel like in a lot of ways, I think you're underestimating how good certain games on the Switch look.
No, I agree. I agree.
Because when you're like, it looks like a Switch game, it's like, okay, maybe it looks like
I just think of, like, okay, I'd say my favorite Switch game is Three Houses. That game's fucking ugly.
Oh yeah, it is. Like, no, yeah, totally.
So when I think of Switch, I think of like the really poorly filtered textures and like just really bad aliasing, and so it's like that's what I think of when I think of Switch games, like just mid-level Switch. And then you obviously have your Mario Kart 8 Deluxes, which is a Wii U game, and
Like,
and Mario Odyssey, which is arguably a Wii U game in its early development. So it's like you have these things.
I think that is the furthest you've ever stretched for an argument. I will not lie.
Wait, okay, so I genuinely think that Odyssey was at some point probably in development for the Wii U. I can almost guarantee it.
Okay.
And then they probably scrapped it and moved on. I'm not saying it was a Wii U game. I'm not saying
I know.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying it was probably considered to come out on the Wii U at some point during development. Probably. I don't know.
Well,
I think it kind of helps to describe why we got 2 big first-party games in the first year, but I don't know. Anyways, I don't know. I talked about this in a video I never uploaded, but I really like the Switch, but I can definitely start to feel its age personally. Like Link's Awakening Remake, I had this problem with where it was just like, please just run at 60 without stutters, please. And then it didn't. Age of Calamity, please run at 30, and then it doesn't. And it's just like, ugh, I want it to be even just consistent. Performance, give me the performance. I don't care about resolution. Just give me that 60 and 30, and I'm good. But at least Smash runs really well. Like, I'll admit, Smash, probably the best looking Switch game.
Oh, yeah.
Probably. Like during the presentation when he showed Ice Climbers versus Pyrrha and Mithra, I was like, okay, damn, we've evolved.
The swords have so much detail.
Actually, Splatoon 2 actually doesn't look that bad, even though I find like a lot of it kind of is a little bland with like the levels. Like some of the levels are like it's black and painted, and then it looks better. But it's like there are better like visually interesting levels and maps in that game. It has a lot of flat textures in Splatoon, I find. I know that's kind of its thing, but
I'm just thinking of like Fire Emblem 3 Houses definitely has issues.
Yeah. And performance. Like you walk around the monastery and you move the camera at all. It's like oh. I don't know. I will say like Xenoblade looks good, but it's like I don't know. I can tell the Switch really shouldn't be running this game. It's like the grass,
because it runs at 720, I guess.
I don't know. I just 720p. I can tell. Like I don't know. I've become a snob, I'll admit, but it's like I have to I use an upscaler for my Switch games to make them look slightly better, mainly to help with aliasing, like to make the to actually smooth out sharpies, jaggies. That's one of my bigger issues with the Switch. Is a lot of the games look super jaggy. That's just a thing with the Switch. I don't know. Like resolution would be nice to have better in the future, but it's like I don't know. I was playing Xenoblade, and it's like I didn't want to play it on my 1440p screen. I had to move it down to a smaller one, and it looks good in handheld, but it also runs terribly. So I was like, okay, I'll play on my small 20-inch 900p monitor rather than my other one. So I was like, all right. Whereas like Smash, I can play on this monitor just fine, and it looks good. Which I understand it's a fighting game, not an open world MMORPG, blah 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 blah, or not MMO, but you know what I mean. I don't know. It's hard to explain, especially when I have a PS5 right next to me that I can play, Persona 5 Strikers at perfect 1440p or 60 with no issues, and Red Dead Redemption at 4K 30 with no issues. So I'm a little spoiled, I'll admit, but it makes me just even with the PS4, it was like 1080 30 most games, great. I get it. You can't have that on the Switch because it's not as powerful. In a lot of ways, the Switch is a Wii U Pro. Changed my mind. Not really. I think I just felt it the most with Age of Calamity, and I was kind of like,
I mean, that would be terribly.
Yeah, I was just like,
it.
It's kind of why I haven't played it much. Like, I would totally play it if it. It's like, ooh. It's like even Breath of the Wild has frame rate issues. It's like, ugh. It's sad, man. It's sad.
Yeah, I mean, I would say most games nowadays is the thing. Even from major devs are always like 30 FPS, but we have a lot of detail, and it's like, hell no.
Really? Because I think Last of Us 2 was fine enough. Like, I don't know.
I think...
And Ghost of Tsushima on PS4 was also pretty okay.
I do not think there's ever a situation where I would choose 1080p over 60 FPS.
Interesting, because, like...
I unless it's like a game that was like animated at 30 FPS, so then it can't even be. Because that does exist, you know, certain games were animated, but in the modern day, I'm like, give me a mode. Just give it to me.
You'll like the PS5 then. Quite a lot.
If you can't do it and it's like 720, 30, fine.
Yeah, no,
you know?
yeah.
And I understand that you can't hit 60 at all, you know?
Yeah.
But if you're doing 1080, 30, it's like, okay, just give me the 60.
So, like, I know, well, you have a base PS4, so when you played Strikers, it didn't have the, like, graphics or performance option, did it?
No, it does.
Oh, it does? I wonder what it does on base PS4.
I'm assuming it chooses between 60 FPS or 30, 1080.
But on PS5, that Switch does
low res Ryuji, man.
Yeah. But like that's yes. Oh god, yeah. I'll admit that game looks not great. But that Switch on PS4 or PS5 does nothing. Like switching it did nothing. I didn't notice a thing. I don't think it does anything on PS5, which I just thought was interesting.
I mean, I'm assuming it runs perfectly fine at
oh yeah, no,
is the thing. But I mean, like the certain the supers, you know.
Yeah, the showtime's kind of slow.
You know, the models are very smooth. The animation's very smooth, and it runs at a consistent frame rate.
Yeah,
at a consistent 60.
Yeah,
it's just when you zoom out and they're like hanging in like the attic, it's like, oh wow, I cannot see your face, Ryuji.
Well, it's probably that could be just because you're on PS4. I don't know. Could be. Again, I'm a weird person. I'm an anomaly in this case. You know, I can play the beautiful PS4 Pro version of Resident Evil 2, and it runs even better than it would on PS4 Pro. Like less frame dips, and everything. So it's like I'm spoiled. I'll admit, I really, really am, and I'm happy for it. But it's like, I don't know.
Maybe they should just sell shade Pokemon. That's all I'm saying.
There you go. That'll fix it.
That'll fix a lot of things, actually.
I mean, for God's sakes, I bought fucking Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII, a game that runs at like barely 580, 512p, and I'm sure it will look fine. But it's like I clearly don't care that much. I can go back and play old games. But when it's a 2020 release and I paid $60 and it dips into the 12s. When I'm trying to play as Impa, I get a little cranky, just a little bit. And I'm not a cranky gamer generally. When I'm not sleep deprived and doing this show, I'm not a cranky gamer. Although I will say,
not the Palutena era.
Nier Automata, I never know how to say it. When I was playing that on PS4, it was like, okay, this doesn't look good. So, and then I played on PS5, and it still doesn't look good. So, oh well. There are games where it happens, I'll admit. And I really shouldn't be a snob because gameplay comes first. But there's just a lot of things where it's like, I mean, that's what's like with Strikers, for example. It doesn't look great. It like Royal looks way better on PS4 Pro /5. It looks way better, but it's 30 and it's not an action game with constant boom bada bing all over the place. So obviously compromises, but it doesn't look good. Like there's pixels all over everywhere, and graphics and like that Switch does nothing. And apparently the game looks like that on PC as well. Like there's very like bad alias options on PC, which is interesting. Ooh. But to close out, unless you have more to say, because I kind of took up a lot of time there. I just have one more question.
This is why games should be hand drawn.
Exactly.
Bring sprites back, baby.
I'm sorry, Naughty Dog, you're out of business now. Gabe bankrupt you, just like that. Okay, so my one question. I've had this question for a while, and I'm curious what you think. So,
I forgot about the topic we were going to talk about today. Crap.
That could be its own episode.
True.
For real. Plus, I need to research that a bit better, dive in. But okay, so this is the 25th, 35th. It's the anniversary. I think it's the 25th anniversary of Tomb Raider. Oh. And the reason I bring this up is because there is a huge outcry of the fans. So we were talking about this before we recorded. Of like, Xenoblade 2 kind of divided the fan base. Awakening, Fire Emblem Awakening divided the fan base. Persona
The
divided the Shin Megami. Yeah,
JRPG
yeah,
anime divide, as I will dub it.
yeah. There are games and series. Halo 4 divided its fan base. Halo Reach arguably did that first. You have games that do this, right? And
Okay.
then, but okay, Tomb Raider. There are 5 games in the old classic style.
Mm-hmm.
And there are people that are like crying to have those game, like have a new game in that style. And it's like, okay, I get it. It is 2021. It has been a long time since Tomb Raider Chronicles came out. But like when Chronicles came out, it was berated and just torn apart because it was the same like style as the first game, which was 4 games ago. And I'm curious, like genuinely, in a long-standing series where they've kind of left its original formula, what, like, to me, I'm just like, okay, if you like that style so much, and trust me, I do, like, I fucking love old Tomb Raider style, and go play those games. Like, I don't know, I'm curious where you draw that line of, like, should they go back to the old style? I don't know how I'm asking the question right, but it's like these long ass series: Resident Evil, Halo. Well, I guess Halo's not that long. Final Fantasy. These games that have been around since the late 80s, early 90s. It's like, when do you draw that line of give up, restart, or keep innovating? I'm just curious what you think.
I mean, I'm kind of confused because give up, keep going.
Give up meaning like end the franchise, like just stop making games, which I think most people that are fans of those franchises wouldn't want that. I don't know. And then go back is like try and reinvigorate the series by like revisiting the old style, or keep innovating with the new like Uncharted puzzle based style. Specifically, I'm talking Tomb Raider because it perfectly fit where my brain was going.
I mean, I get like the want to see it go back,
Yeah,
and also why people were kind of sick of it, because like, dude, if someone makes something that you really like,
yeah,
if they keep throwing it at you, eventually you're gonna get sick of it.
yeah.
Even if it still is good.
Good. Yes.
And eventually you're gonna want to have it again.
Yes.
And the thing that it changes into, you might not like.
Yeah. No, I agree.
So, and also, I don't think it's a binary choice.
I also agree. That was my answer was that, basically.
Like, you have remake. Like, I mean, here's the thing: I trashed on them both, but that's what Pokemon is doing.
Well, they're trying to appease both
and going forward.
Yeah, yeah, they're trying both
and restarting.
It's just interesting because like this happened with Assassin's Creed, where like a lot of people were just done with the games by the time 3 came out, and people were like, "I'm tired of this. It's the same thing." Even people that liked the games were like, "The story has gone all over the place. Like, you just please stop." And then they made 3 more games in that style, 4 more games, and no one played them, and they didn't sell well. And then Ubisoft was like, "All right, let's reinvigorate the series." And then there were people that liked it, and then there were people that weren't, even people that were tired of, like, I get it. Just because it's new and different doesn't mean it's good. It's just, I don't understand it. Like, personally, it's like, if you like the old style, then go. I don't know. It's weird because I'm a Halo fan saying this, and I wanted the new game to be like the old game. So I don't know. It's just it was something I thought about. I thought was interesting.
I mean, just like, so you're arguing is like, why aren't you just satisfied with what you got?
Yeah, especially when people started to agree that it was getting stale and they wanted something new.
Because why wouldn't you want more if you like it?
But if you were one of those people that was thinking it was stale, and then you go back, like, I don't know. Like,
just because it was stale at one point doesn't mean it's stale now.
True, but like they've already moved on. Like Call of Duty did this. Like, people were tired of World War II. So many World War II shooters. They go in the modern era. People were like, okay, cool. And then there was too much in the modern era, so then they go to the future. And then there was too much in the future, and then they went back, and then people didn't like that. And it's just like, I don't know. Maybe I just care way too much what people think. I think that's the theme of my character arc on this show.
I think I'm gonna, because I think a lot of the questions you do ask and the things you do bring up do kind of link back to that point of like,
I want to make everyone happy.
Why aren't the fans happy?
Yeah.
And at a certain level, it's just like,
I mean, I had this with God of War 2018, where it was like, this is good, but people that like the old games don't like this, but people like the new games don't. I don't know.
Don't go the dark path of becoming a Redditor, Scott.
No,
Don't go
trust
down
me.
the dark path.
Trust me. No.
Don't go down the path of someone else having an opinion means that you have to, like, go against it or understand why. It's just like, well, some people just want different
Yeah,
things.
no, I know. It's just weird because like I like Resident Evil 6 on some level, right? But I will fully admit it's nothing like the old games. But I also kind of like it. But I know a lot of people hate it, and so it's like, you know what? That's cool. I'll enjoy it. But please don't make a game like Resident Evil 6 ever again. you know, So it was something I was thinking about that I didn't want to blarf on Twitter because I knew it wouldn't end well. Because I couldn't even formulate it. Plus, I'm tired, but it's like I couldn't formulate the question properly.
Twitter is a bad first step.
Yeah. Oh, yes, it is. That's yes. Yep.
But people want different things.
No, I know it's weird. It's
We
weird.
just like what we like.
I don't want sprint in the big shoot a man game, and they put sprint in the big shoot a man game. I know how it feels. But I also like sprint in the big man shooter game because it's fun in Halo 5. So I'm weird. I really am.
Yeah, just don't be a jerk about it.
Yeah, I get
mean,
cranky.
That is the argument itself, It always becomes, tying back into the thesis, I guess.
Yeah.
It becomes the old school elitist versus the new school, I guess, in a way, counter elitist.
Yeah.
Where in order to not be, they elitize not being an elitist.
Right. No, I agree.
You can't enjoy the old one anymore because that makes you an elitist, not cool. And then that's how it goes.
You can't like the new one because then you're a hipster.
Well, you can't like the new one because it's not as good as the old one because it goes against what the old one was.
Yeah, it's a loop.
But if you like the old one, then then no matter what, you're an elitist who doesn't understand the new one.
Yeah.
Then you're a baby who can't take new things.
Trust me, as someone that likes Halo 5 and Halo 3, I get this a lot. Like, oh god.
That's internet discourse, and then you just gotta be like, okay, I don't care. Make your own path,
Yeah, and like I am a very I want people to have as much creative freedom as possible when they make a game or anything, any work of any sort. And so it's just hard for me to go like, I don't think you should have done that. But at the same time, it's like, yeah, I probably should have because this is a series with established, things, formulas, styles, structure, etc. So it's like, I don't know. I don't know when to draw that line.
Interesting, because like a while back you mentioned that to some degree you think that games are constantly getting better.
Yeah, and I still stand by that. Like, I don't understand the whole I don't know. I look at my game shelf and I look at all the PS4 games I have, and I'd probably much rather play any one of those than all the PS2 games I have personally.
This is,
and I know,
our strongest divide.
I just
this is where it ends.
Resident Evil 2 Remake. Go ahead and tell me that game's better or worse than Heavenly Sword for the PS3. I think Resident Evil 2 is a far better game.
An argument.
Okay, then where does the argument start? Of, in general, hundreds of games that are being released now are worse than hundreds of games that were released 10 years ago. How do you even approach that?
Well, I mean, the argument's stupid in the first place.
Fair.
Is the bad idea. Fair. It's simply the process of how it always goes, is how things are being made, and then the things that are bad will be forgotten in 10 years, and the good things will be remembered in 10 years.
True.
The volume doesn't matter. I understand questioning different design trends,
Yeah.
Certain popular design trends, like climbing.
Yeah.
Linear Uncharted style climbing.
Right.
It's like, okay, the Source did this really well and does it really well, but a lot of other things just pick it up because it's how you do it.
Yeah.
That can be annoying, and I get it. Especially when it's something that's almost can feel like non-gameplay at times,
Yeah.
Like in God of War 2018, the climbing is as close to no interaction as pretty much possible.
Yeah, although I don't remember it having all that much.
It didn't, but it's just
It's still
you get
there.
what I'm saying though. Even the thing,
See,
but
I
back in
guess
the
I'm
day,
a
people their lives were the big thing,
yeah. No, you're right.
And
And
the mechanic isn't inherently bad or good. It just depends on how it's designed around.
I definitely think I'm like a sum of all its parts person in general. Like I look at Super Mario Bros. 3 and it's like that's a cool, really simple, awesome game. But
Yeah.
I'd much rather play Odyssey with all these other things that I can do, you know?
Hmm.
I would say Odyssey is a oh god. No, I wouldn't.
Ooh,
But it's
ooh.
like I don't know, like I think that quality wise especially, like
Say it. Say it, Scott.
quality wise I think in general games have gotten better.
Ooh.
Like Red Dead
Hmm.
Redemption 2 is probably the most polished game I've ever played.
Hmm.
Ever. I've poured hundreds of hours into that game. I've
Hmm.
barely experienced issues at all. And then I go and I play Haze for the PS3 and I get it, different, I get it. But it's
Hey,
just
man.
like I don't know.
What about you select the best old game you can think of instead?
Like Ocarina of Time and how it's crap.
I mean, then you're not thinking of what about Super Mario Brothers 3?
It's good. Okay.
See? That make it a more
True.
fair comparison.
But like
That's
I look at them both, I'm like they're both good.
yeah.
I don't know.
I'm not here to
I
tell
don't
you that you're
see.
wrong at figuring how it is. I totally get
Yeah,
preferring
I'm
your
also
game
very much
stuff,
thinking this out too
but
as we
it's also
go.
like make sure to not fall into the step of here's the pinnacle of modern game design in my perspective. Here's this mid-tier PS2 game.
Yeah,
These are the champions of the two sides of
but
the argument.
that's
It's
kind
like
of what I'm like when
that's
people
inherently unfair
say
head argumentation.
when people are like, "Oh, I think gaming is going downhill," but it's like we got Persona 5 like 3 years ago. You know, it's like, huh? I don't know. I'm weird.
Or if they don't like JRPGs.
Exactly. What if they like? Uh, I
I
don't
can
know.
totally understand thinking games have gone downhill if what you liked were twin stick shooters
Oh yeah.
and hotels
You'd like 5 seconds of Near
people don't
Automata, but you're
because
mostly out of luck.
what's being produced by the major publishers no longer appeals to your taste.
True, but you
You
got
know?
the Dreamcast indie scene. They got a lot of those.
True.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. It's an interesting question. I don't really even think it has an answer. It's the whole like, is the world becoming a better place or a worse place? The data usually points towards it being actually better, not worse. So it's like there's probably something like that for this argument, but I don't know.
I
It also depends how you measure it.
I'm just thinking about how you mentioned that you think design of games have generally gotten better, and that's an interesting take to have. It's like, you know what? Yeah, I think we're dodging a lot of pitfalls we used to fall into. Yeah, like I get that, that's an interesting thing to think about.
But you have a good point. Like I shouldn't just look at Heavenly Sword and compare it to Resident Evil 3. You know, it's like that's not fair. But is any comparison fair? I don't know.
I
Watch
think
Dogs
ideally
Legion.
you would want to make it as fair as you could.
Yeah, no, yeah.
That doesn't mean you have to be like, oh yes, we're looking at two God of War games. God of War 1 versus God of War 2018. Like it doesn't have to be like same series.
Yeah.
Same genre, really. But it's just the kind of thing where it's like, as a whole, maybe just look at the palette of games available to you now and the palette of games available to you, say, 10 years ago. How do you feel about it?
I mean, I can't imagine living in a world without Witcher 3, Red Dead Redemption 2, Persona 5, Metal Gear Solid 5. Like, it's like these are all tentpole games that have come out in the last 5 years that like people adore, and it's like I don't know.
Scott, is bigger better?
No, obviously not.
Okay, I'm just okay. Good.
The types of games I like generally are bigger than Super Mario Bros. 3, but it's like I don't know. I also
but
really
that's definitely a large scale design trend.
Yeah, that I
So you
like,
can't
and it helps that I like it.
and are larger and
Yeah.
take longer times,
True.
you know, and have a lot larger expanses to explore.
I've also been trending away from
And
it too,
a lot of
personally.
people may not like that, you know,
Well, then why did all these games sell so well? If people don't
because
like it,
people do like it.
yeah, I know. It's like it's interesting when people are like, no one likes this.
People liking a thing doesn't invalidate the people who don't.
You're right.
Like
You are right. You are so right. It's just interesting when people make these statements and then it's like, oh, no one liked The Last of Us 2. It's like one of the best selling PS4 games. Well, they didn't play it. They just sold it. It's like, what? I don't know. I don't care.
You know,
It's just interesting.
Like discourse, you know.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That too.
Sweeping statements.
Yeah, I know. And I do that on this show. I say dumb things. I really do. I said on the first episode, one of my favorite games is Super Mario Bros. 3, and I've tried to fake it till I make it and to make that be a thing. But
I cannot believe I'm still appalled.
I kind of want to stick with it, but at the same time, it's like, eh.
I mean, if it isn't your favorite, why stick with it?
I mean, it's a good game, but
It is. It's tight as hell.
it is. It's Link's
Is that a
Awakening.
perfect game, Scott?
Well, that's the thing. It's like, how do you measure a perfect game? I don't know.
How do you?
Because Mario 3 has a lot of fun bugs and glitches in it to speedrun to 100%.
I mean, Tetris.
That's
There's
true.
nothing wrong with Tetris.
What's a
Tetris is a perfect game.
Are there good bugs and glitches?
But
Well, which
is
Tetris? Huh?
I mean, just in general, you know, whatever.
No, I get you. I get you.
Tetris is a perfect game, but that doesn't make it the best game.
True.
There's more than just sound design.
That is true.
That's,
That is true.
as it pains me to say it. I'm interested when eventually if we cover this is the dumbest name, but the gamer motivation profile.
Yes, sir.
I'm excited to see what yours are, like your highest ones are.
Yeah, I might do that before I head to bed. I don't know. I'm interested though.
I have. Do I not have it? Okay, I don't have it anymore. But I will say this, Scott. On my original one, I did pull a 0%.
On a category?
On a category, on one of the 12 like ideas.
It's exploration. Exploration. I know it's exploration.
Who knows? I did pull 0. It did get bumped up to 5%.
Interesting.
And
Interesting.
I also have a 90%. So it's like, okay.
I'm curious. I think that'll make it easier for you and I to understand each other, because I feel like I have a really hard, like, there are people, like, okay, you talk to someone that says Devil May Cry 5 is their favorite game ever, they will have a very bullet-pointed, broken down, like, very concise, easy to understand argument and reasons why they like that game. For me,
yeah,
I'm like, oh, I like Red Dead 2 because I can walk around and shoot people. Where it's not like I'm breaking down the mechanics and like explaining them in great detail.
I think there's one that's going to be...
So I think I just have a hard time explaining what I like.
The most appalling one. I think I know which one is going to be the one where you're like the most like, oh, okay.
Yeah. It's just interesting because, you know, I think of what I consider some of my favorite game franchises, and they're all kind of different design-wise. Like, Zelda is nowhere near Grand Theft Auto, and I like both of them quite a lot. You know, so it's interesting. But I think with that little teaser of the future and the further collapse of my brain, that's going to be the end, Gabe. How I think the patch just came out.
Oh, did it?
I think I'm getting messages and pings. Papagino's Forest Maze has 72 unread pings, so I'm sure the patch is out.
Yeah, it's downloading. Okay,
cool.
I gotta take a chem test.
Oh no.
It's all good. Don't worry about it.
Well, with all that, everybody take care. Enjoy yourselves.